Welcome back to the second episode of What the Frick Reviews. I'm DJ.
I'm Katie.
And on this special episode, which is our Christmas episode, we're going to review Scrooged, the Bill Murray modern adaptation of The Christmas Carol. And you're not going to say anything?
Indeed.
This is an audio podcast too, so you just nodding isn't going to help the people listening.
What about sign language?
To the audio listeners, once again, she waved at the camera. Since our last episode, Warriors of Virtue, we didn't do a good job explaining the movie. I'm going to read the actual plot of the movie so everyone can know.
Wikipedia, so, I mean...
in this modern take of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Frank Cross, played by Bill Murray, is a wildly successful television executive whose cold ambition and curmudgeonly nature has driven away the love of his life, Claire Phillips, played by Karen Allen, also the love interest of Raiders of the Lost Ark. But after firing a staff member, Elliot Loudermilk, on Christmas Eve, Frank is visited by a series of ghosts who give him a chance to reevaluate his actions and right the wrongs of his past.
I knew some of those words. I got really confused. Yeah. I was like, is it you? Is it the description? I'm not following, but see some ghosts.
Yeah, he sees some ghosts. I mean, it's the Christmas Carol. Three ghosts, the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas past, and the ghost of Christmas future.
So let's set the scene.
Set the scene.
The movie is opening.
There's
Santa.
Santa and the $6 million baby. $600 million man? Leave something?
When the fuck was there a baby? No, there's Santa, there's elves. Was Mrs. Claus there?
Yeah, Mrs. Claus was there.
Okay, and then all of a sudden, boom, bam.
Guns.
Boom, bam. Guns.
Oh my God, he's packing.
Santa's getting packed on. Is that how you say it? No, Santa's getting bombed.
What did he say in the movie? He said, this year Santa's going through the front door.
I don't remember that part. That's pretty
IBC is the television network that Frank Bill Murray owns in this movie. It's a president of.
Is IBC a real thing?
No.
Okay.
Hashtag don't sue us.
Why would they sue us?
Sue them if it was NBC.
Facts.
But basically, the movie opens with a collection of upcoming Christmas attractions to get people to watch the old boob tube. And then we're introduced to Bill Murray / Frank whatever, even though I just said his name, being Bill Murray. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Being a dick, being an ass, being a lovable guy.
We love Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is funny, and I do forget how funny he is. But he is probably absolutely a dick in real life, and I'm sure he didn't have to act too hard at the beginning of this movie.
Well, you know what? We separate the art from the artist sometimes.
In this movie, he didn't.
Anyways.
You show off the promos, and then shout out to my main man, Elliot. He looked Frank, dead in the fucking beady little eyes.
No, you missed it.
Yes.
Okay, so it was showing that, and then they showed the ad for what it's really going to be, and it's going to be
the Christmas Carol play.
The Christmas Carol play, and the head guy of, what is it, IBC?
IBC.
IBC is going to be reading the story while they live
That's
act
not
it.
What's happening. It's just some actor. It's not the head of the IBC.
I thought he was singing. Oh, no, it was some actor.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Well, because they were at the end of the movie, they were at home watching it and watching Frank come on set.
But they were so decorated and like Christmas stuff. I was like, who wears that while they're home alone? I thought he was like, okay, so some actor is telling the story
of the Christmas Carol.
While actors are acting it out.
They show the ad for a Christmas Eve live production of the Christmas Carol, and it's a typical live production. Someone's reading the novel of Christmas Carol to set up the scene, and then live actors are playing the stage play of Christmas Carol that is being broadcast live to their viewers of IBC. And then Frank's like, that ad's boring as fuck. Let's add some terrorism, some explosion, some guns in our faces, and get people Scrooged.
I guess so. Yeah. So it was like, oh, scary. He hates Christmas, whatever.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, yeah, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Except for one guy.
Man.
Except for one guy.
Yep. Our man.
Your man.
Elliot. He looked him dead in the eyes and said, Frank, that's a dumb idea, and that's not the meaning of Christmas. And he said, Elliot, you're fucking fired, my guy.
No. He said, Elliot, why didn't anyone say anything? You're so right. And then Elliot leaves, and then he turns to his assistant, Grace, and he's like, fucking fire that guy.
Yep.
And she's like, what? Okay, code 9.
On Christmas? Which it's like...
It's Christmas Eve, I thought.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve.
It's weird. They're like, on Christmas, and like, it's like...
I felt like there was days in between these days.
Yes. But like, technically, this happened on the 23rd, and then the next day is Christmas Eve on the 24th. It's not Christmas yet.
It's Christmas. Yeah, there's just everyone's like Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fired.
Yep, Elliot's gone. Once again, I could totally see Bill Murray probably did that to someone on that set.
What a great guy. So, and then after that, he's like watching him from his office as they like throw him out. And during this, Grace is like, okay, this person, what should they get for Christmas? He's like, a towel, a VHS, a towel. Grace gets no bonus.
No bonus, only gets a towel.
Yeah.
And basically, all this really sets up, the beginning of the film is really just setting up to every adaptation of A Christmas Carol, especially since they're based in like Victorian times or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know Scrooge is a dick because the movie tells you. This movie, you absolutely know this guy is a Scrooge. He's Bill Murray. Like, not like I'm like, I know I've done a lot of Bill Murray as a dick in real life jokes, but like genuinely in this movie, they do an amazing job. Like, you kind of fucking hate this guy at the beginning. He's just mean to everyone. His brother, he's like mean to his brother for no reason. Once again, all Christmas Carol stuff. But this movie really like shows, oh yeah, now I could totally see how many people could hate Scrooge in this movie. Like, I thought they did a really good job sealing how much you kind of just wanted him to deal with what was going to happen to him.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts, like after this, is when he's running back to the office and there's intense music and he's like, come here. Shut that door.
Yeah, slam this door. Slam this door.
Yeah. It's like, it's just so funny. I don't know. I liked that. And then he's telling Grace we're working late. And she's like, I have a doctor's appointment. He's like, when I work late, you work late.
And if I don't work late, I don't work late.
I'm like, yeah. Me too.
No. Bill Murray fully embraces this character and like really does a great job making you like hate him, but also you can laugh with him because he's making some pretty good zingers.
Yeah. And then it's just, I also got kind of confused because it's like, like, he's terrible, but then it shows him winning an award.
Yeah, a humanitarian award.
Yeah, and then I was like, but doesn't everyone know he's a jerk? But I guess not.
I mean, most award shows, are fake and bullshit. They're usually paid for those awards.
People are paid for awards?
They pay to get the award.
What?
Yeah.
That makes more sense than what I thought, but
yeah,
still.
Sorry to burst your bubble. That was just to make IBC.
Okay, the Oscars?
I mean, most of the Academy people do not watch the films. They just see. Yeah, no, that's true. Like, they've like come out and talked about like animated films and like never seen one of them. I picked that one because I saw a billboard about it.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
This world is corrupt.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I didn't realize you cared so much about the Oscars. And I'm the filmmaker.
I don't care, but just knowing. It's just immoral, you know?
Which also, the award thing, like, he told Grace he has to work late, and then he showed up to an award ceremony. I'm like, weren't you supposed to work late?
When he works late, she works late.
Yeah.
When he doesn't work late, he doesn't work late.
Yeah.
You know?
So we have the humanitarian award.
Yes.
And he's back in his office, and and then we get the Marley ghost. Badass entrance. Blows open his doors.
Yep. The doors are he hears a knock.
Yep.
No one there. And then he closes the door.
Someone called Zach Bagans.
I know. Also, Grace is gone.
Gracie is gone.
Excuse me? When he works late, she works late.
Work
okay.
late. Yeah. I did think that.
Come on.
Gracie.
He was being generous, you know, and just let her go home. But yeah, knock, and then all of a sudden the door starts shaking. Boom, 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 boom. And then he pops in.
Blows in, honestly. He blows up the fucking fucking door.
He's like, I'm home.
And he's like, and then Bill Murray just unloads a clip on him. He has a gun and he just goes for it. Which, you know what? I respect, because I would have done the same damn thing.
Yeah. But also, do you think it would be normal, like acceptable for someone to have a gun in their office nowadays?
No, I don't think it would be acceptable to have a gun. It's the 80s, so like everything's a little bit more acceptable than... This movie has a lot of things that happen that you're like, yeah, this is definitely...
Okay, yeah. Why am I questioning this one thing? Okay,
we will bring certain things up later. I do want to make a quick aside. Gracie is his assistant. Grace is his assistant, and she has a small son, and that is the Tiny Tim of the Christmas Carol. He doesn't speak. That is what his disability is in this movie.
Oh, I never even made that connection this whole time.
Because, like, you have to... Like, I was constantly thinking about the traditional things with the Christmas Carol.
I'll carry the two.
Yeah.
Oh. It's him.
Yeah.
It's him.
Tiny Tim, 2 words.
Oh, shit.
That is a Tiny Tim. So now we have the base characters. You have the Scrooge. Grace is the upbeat, really into Christmas assistant.
Yeah.
And then you have...
She's essential.
Yeah. She is. I mean, that's like in every Christmas Carol, you have Scrooge and his assistant.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only watched this one. That's all I needed.
Yes, so you have all the basic characters now. You have the Scrooge, you have the assistant, you have Tiny Tim, and now, boom, kabam, couple of gunshots, second gun in the movie, first ghost Marley, his name is Lou Hayward.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. He said to be dead for 7 years. I'm like, yeah, it looks about right. But then he was talking. He's like, don't waste your life like I did mine. Blah, blah, blah. My favorite line was Bill Murray when he was like, all right, I can squeeze you in for a breakfast. He's like trying to plan a time for him.
Yeah, he was like, noon tomorrow is when you're going to see the first ghost. He's like, could we do something on Thursday?
Yeah, maybe I can squeeze in a breakfast.
I'll buy you a hamburger on a Thursday. Do you get that reference?
Do you like eggs? What?
That reference? What I just said?
Buy you a hamburger on Thursday.
From Popeye.
No, why would I get that? You really aged yourself there.
So Lou shows up, is like, hey, Frank, you're a dick. You're wasting your life, and you're only going to regret this, and I'm going to show you 3 ghosts. And for some reason, like, Frank didn't go like, you mean like the fucking thing I'm about to do live tomorrow night? Yeah. Like, he doesn't fully acknowledge that he's about to go through the Christmas Carol, which is kind of weird because, like, he should have immediately been like the Christmas Carol. Don't you think that's a little on the nose, Lou?
Who's Lou?
That's his boss's name, Lou Hayward.
Oh, I just wrote down Hayward. I was like, who's this guy, Lou?
So Lou tells him Friday at noon, and he's like, okie dokie. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Jerk off.
Yeah.
And then in his frantic state, we meet the love interest, Claire, played by the beautiful Indiana Jones love interest, Karen something.
Yeah, but it's like, so the phone dials itself, right?
It does dial itself. You're right. I did forget about that.
And he answers it. And it was like, he says, I forgot who says, but it's like, it's been 15 years. It said that. It's been 15 years.
No. It dialed Claire for him, and he said, I know, Claire, it's been 15 years since we spoke.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not since he saw the ghost.
Oh, okay.
No. Sorry, I should have clarified. But no, Claire and him haven't talked for 15 years?
Yes.
I haven't talked to my ex, 3 years?
Well, Frank is like 40, and you're like
I know.
39.
Excuse me. No, I'm not.
38 on a good day.
All right, whatever. But no, I'm just saying, like, 15 years is a lot of years to just...
to randomly call an ex.
Yeah, but also I wanted to note this because this is just like a side note, general interest. He says his phone number, 674-9565. When did we start needing zip codes? Because I even thought about that when I was a kid. We had a home phone and never really had to do zip codes.
Always needed a zip code.
Not me.
He didn't. Area code?
Area code. Oh, that's embarrassing. Where am I? No. Area.
Yeah, area code.
Area code?
I've always had an area code.
I didn't when I was a kid. And also, he doesn't right here.
I'm going to bleep this out. Give me your phone number right now.
Well, okay, yeah. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an area code, but like back then, I'm saying when did it switch? Because obviously there wasn't that many phone numbers because it was just house phones. And so you didn't really need it. But now, back in my hometown, hey, listen, Linda.
What, an office doesn't need a phone?
You know what?
We should drop this.
No. I'm not dropping this. Back in my hometown, they now have a new area code. There's a new one now. So all the people who tattooed the numbers on them, yeah, a lot of people in gangs tattoo the area code on them. Now are they going to have to get... What?
You shouldn't have said the city.
I didn't say the city.
You said gangs.
That's not my city.
Oh.
What?
Oh, you said a lot of people in gangs tattoo the area code? Oh.
It's like, where are you from? No, like they tattoo the area code and now there's another area code there because we're getting so big or whatever. And I'm like, do they tattoo that too? Like, no, what I'm saying is I remember when I was a kid, I just remembered the phone number for my house. I didn't have to remember an area code. And he didn't say an area code.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
What's his number?
674-9565. And I rewound it because I was like, what? Because I've always thought about this. I'm like, when did they start doing area codes, you know? Maybe when cell phones happened? This is a very side tangent, but I think it's important because I've always thought about this.
And you didn't Google it to provide any of...
What's the fun in Googling it? When you can ponder for years.
All right, well, let us know down in the comments so Katie can sleep tonight.
I just want to ask people so they could tell me.
Yeah, that's true. So let us know in the comments, or don't lie to her. I don't care. It's not going to benefit me either way.
Anyways, so they get called.
They call Claire.
They call Claire, and then also he gets...
They being the ghost.
Yes, and then Frank is talking or whatever. Call me back. I need to talk to you ASAP. And then he drinks from his drink, and there's a golf ball in it. So that kind of just confirms that what he experienced was real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the door was fixed, and he was like, oh, I was just hallucinating because I was drinking too much. #Tab, product sponsored.
Who?
Tab.
Who's Tab?
It's a soda that's no longer... I mean, it's back now, but it was gone for a while. But every time it showed up, I was like, 80s.
Oh, I didn't even look at the soda. I was just looking at that.
I always look for product placement. Always.
What was the alcohol?
I don't know. That wasn't being sponsored. It's probably like whiskey or bourbon. It was brown. Well, no, it wasn't. Like, it had to be white because he added the tab and it got brown.
I thought it was brown too, though.
I can't remember.
Frick. These are the details we need.
So he calls Claire. Claire doesn't pick up naturally because it's probably like midnight. In response to his phone call, Claire rushes to his set and somehow got on set and said, Frankie... Lumpy, you called me. You called me, and then he's being a dick again.
Some of the... This is what I wrote down. It was very interesting. One of the staff members brought a mouse with antlers, and we tried super glue. It just won't stick. I was like, what? You tried super glue on this tiny little mouse?
Yeah.
And he's like, staple.
Well, you know why the mouse showed up, right?
Well, yeah, because the
executive president of the company said cats and dogs are starting to watch TV, so there needs to be cat programming.
Which I can attest to. My cat does watch TV. Because you're a cat? No. Not that I know of. But anyways, yeah, I was just like, crazy glue, what the hell? But that mouse was super cute.
To which Scrooge responded, have you tried Staples?
Yeah.
What a guy.
That was not funny. I did not laugh at that part. That poor mouse.
Okay. Wow. Stick in the mud over here.
Scrooge over here.
And then, he's like talking to Claire and he's freaking out and getting more and more mad. And then he sees a small child and is immediately ready to punt him out of the studio. And then Grace is like, that's my fucking kid.
And then his line, which is actually really funny. She's like, what is going on? This is my little boy. He's like, all right, you beat him. I thought that was funny. I was just like, oh, God.
Yeah, no, Frank is out for only one person in the world. And I say this to you a lot, actually. The world is focused on one thing. For you. Yourself and yourself. Look out for you. You're number one.
You've never said that to me.
I've said it so many times.
You have not. And then he gets news that someone died watching his ad.
And he was fucking ecstatic.
Yeah, he's like, keep running it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Which for the first time, I was like...
It's like a 90-year-old lady.
Kind of like Frank. I would have been pretty hyped too. I'm like, fuck, that's really good publicity.
First, you want to staple the mouse. Now you're like, old lady. She was.
For the record, I didn't want to staple the mouse, and I thought it was horrendous. But I did think, I didn't even really find it funny in the moment. I just found it funny when I brought it up.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
And then, so he punts the kid, and he's like, all right. And Claire's like, I don't like you anymore, but I'll still love you, probably, even though you're a giant dick, and I could do so much better than you. And then he goes to lunch with the executive president, and we are introduced for the second time, or he goes to lunch with the executive president, and he finds out that they hired a dude to co-president with him as like what is the term that they used?
Co-president.
Consultant. That's what the term.
Oh, he's like
he was consulting. He was like, I'm not here to replace you. I'm just here to help you on your plate.
I know a lot of people would be worried, intimidated, and it's like, shut up.
Yeah,
you're antagonizing him. His name is Bryce.
Is it? That is so his name.
Bryce Cummings? I think. I didn't know how to spell that in here, and then Frank is livid.
Yep. Naturally. Because he's afraid that he's going to lose his job, and then the clock strikes midnight. Nope. And then the clock strikes noon, and Frank starts having hallucinations. He sees an eyeball in his drink. Mm-hmm. He sees a man catch on fire.
Mm-hmm. And he pours water on him.
He does. And then what does he say? Did he make a quip?
He makes a lot, and then he just runs out of the hotel, the restaurant.
A classic Bill Murray zinger.
Oh, yeah.
And then he runs out. And then we're introduced to the first ghost. And then we're introduced to the second ghost, the Ghost of Christmas Past, which I love this guy. He's my favorite ghost. Wait, I don't know. I really like the Ghost of Christmas Present too.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
Yeah, I was a big fan of her. But I do like, so the first ghost, the Ghost of Christmas Past, is a taxi driver. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And he drives so fast and recklessly, just like Katie, to the past.
Says the guy who's having me drive him to work. My car's broken. Yeah, okay. He got in a hit and run, and no, he was not the one that ran. I had to ask that question.
Yeah. And then she said, we love a bad boy.
Yeah. But then, okay, so he's in the cab. Cab taxi? Is there a difference?
No. It's just a slang dialect.
Okay.
I was agreeing. I wasn't even trying to correct you this time. I was just agreeing with you.
I just gave pause in case you had something else to say. Are you good?
I guess.
Okay, so he's in the cab, and they go back to 1955.
Okay, good. You did get the year. I was trying to catch the year, but I missed it.
Yeah.
And this is
I was like, how old is Bill? This guy's old. But
and you're thirsting after him.
I'm not thirsting. I just like him. I'm not like, ooh, Bill.
But that's how you are with Ryan.
Yeah. No. So he goes back to 1955.
Yeah.
And this is when Frank is a child. He's 4. And
yes.
It's just showing him watching TV on Christmas, and his dad is a butcher, I'm assuming. Yep. And he gives him 5 pounds of veal.
Yes. And before that, this is the first time I'm going to do this to you. One of my favorite lines in the movie is that they stop and Bill Murray is like, what, am I going to go in there and cry? And then the taxi driver was like, Attila the Hun, Niagara Falls.
Oh, yeah.
I was that's why I just like how he's just fucking sassy, that ghost. I love it. But yeah, and then he sees it, and then Bill Murray's immediately crying because the mom's like, well, I'm going to go out drinking and I don't want to be around you anymore. And
she's pregnant. Wait, she was going to go drinking?
Oh, I guess yeah, you're right. She is pregnant. So I guess she was just leaving the house to go wherever she was going to go. Because that was his brother.
Yeah. And I think, and so Bill's crying, or Frank is crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is so funny, the line that he says. He's like, a 4-year-old receives what in this marketplace is $40, $50. So sweet.
He's trying to hold back those tears. But you know what? Mood.
Yeah. I wrote down that line and I was like, that's DJ. Like, for sure.
It is me. It's like, I mean, in retrospect, that was a pretty nice gift.
Yeah.
Also, the dad is such a boomer. What? Nobody wants to work anymore. Like, he totally pulled a whole boomer line.
Yeah. So.
We're here at What the Frick. We're such Gen Zers.
Oh my God, I just can't help it.
Ew.
Sometimes I just want to talk like that.
Also, I wrote down, and I don't remember why, Frank was me as a kid. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just in front of the TV.
Yeah. I was just in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And then they were like, don't watch too much. You're going to rot your brain. Suck, bitch. I'm now a filmmaker.
Ayo. For a little company.
Little.
Mid-size.
Yeah, there you go.
She thick?
With a triple C.
Oh, sure. Okay. And so 4-year-old, he's crying. He's like, whatever, I wasn't crying. And then now he takes them to 1968.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do the math. That doesn't make any sense.
What?
I'm doing the math in my head. So he was 4 when it was 1955.
Uh-huh. And then went to
10, 14 years. So he was 17?
Working at the mailroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty plausible.
He did not look 17. Hairline receding. That's why I was so confused. But anyways.
Oh, yeah, this is a scene I wanted to bring up about being in 80s. Shout out to Tina and copying her ass and just passing it out to like every person.
Yeah.
And then the president saw it and he was like, oh, hachi mama. All right, Tina.
Yes. Go Tina.
Yeah. Tina. Raise. And then Tina tries to sleep with Bill Murray and
with Frank, not Bill Murray. But anyways, he's at the Christmas party.
Yep.
And then he leaves.
He's working at the Christmas party. Everyone's having a great time. People are doing coke. There's a lot of alcohol. It's like a full 80s party.
It's a party. And then
he's
like, I'm going to go.
I'm going to go.
He leaves and then he runs into guess who? Claire.
And then she bashes him with the door, and then that's when she comes up with the name Lumpy, which is fucking adorable.
Really?
Oh my God.
She's like, you're going to have a lump on your head because I fucking beat you.
Don't tell me that wouldn't be some shit you would do.
Beat my boyfriend? Yeah.
You would hit your boyfriend with the door and like, oh, you're going to have a lump. I'm going to call you Lumpy now.
No, I'd be like, sorry, bitch. Why were you there? You're in the way of my door. Like, no, but that's
Walk
where
lump.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
And
then that's how he meets Claire, and they go get Chinese food, and we see them in their first Christmas, and little Claire, little
Kama Sutra?
A little Kama Sutra. Claire, hachi mama. Sorry. This is the second time I've said that word.
But also the 1968, so he's 18 here?
Living
in their own apartment?
Yeah.
It's
the 80s. Apartments cost $1.
Well, according to the people, I don't work hard enough because I don't own a home. And I'm 25. That's Otis. He's like, get to work, bitch.
Excuse my cat. And then
yeah, they're opening presents. And then he's just watching them, like reminiscing about the days they were together.
And then like Frank gives like an awful gift. It's knives because he never had it. I was like, oh, is this like a moment to explain like Frank's kind of a dick? And then I was like, no, he doesn't actually know how to give gifts. He just got a pound of meat for Christmas when he was 4. So he's like, I don't know, knives.
It's shiny.
It's sharp.
Poke.
And then
that was so dumb.
It was.
But
and then we go to the game show.
Well, then scene changes to a game show, so where he works.
I was wrong. It was not a game show. It's just a kids show.
Scene changes and it's a kids show.
Kids show.
And Frank is in the dog costume.
It's a bone. Oh my God, I love it. I love the ghost is so into it. He's like in the crowd, like, it's a bone, you silly dog. And I'm like, yes.
Oh my God, I didn't remember that. I was just like, the only thought that I had honestly was like, okay, American Dream, I guess, but like starts in the mailroom in a dog costume.
Yep.
how the hell does he get to exec, like, or president or whatever? Like, what is his experience?
Well, yeah, no. This is actually the moment that pivoted for him. That was why he got in this was a downfall of Frank. Because on Christmas Eve, which is weird that he was doing a live kid show on Christmas Eve, Claire's like, hey, we're going to have dinner with our best friends. He's like, no, bitch. I'm going to go have lunch with the president of the company. So...
Yeah, because he just invited him to get dinner with him. So he's like...
On Christmas Eve, yeah.
So we're going there. And she's like, no, we have these plans. He's like, we can go with them anytime. We're going here. And then she's like, I think... we should take a break, which I was very confused. I was like, okay, so he's been a jerk for a while, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, he also called her selfish.
Really?
Yeah, he said, if you can stop being so selfish about yourself for 2 seconds, maybe you would realize that this is really important for my career. And then she's like, maybe we should take a break.
Good girl.
Yeah.
But then look at her now, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Learn nothing.
Yeah. So this is the moment of Christmas Past, the final scene to show the downfall of Frank. We see that he's obviously been choosing his career over his relationship. He still doesn't really care about Christmas anymore. He's all about the career, which kids at home, awful idea. Your career will not be rocking with you when you're old and retired on that porch, on a rocking chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to him.
And then we come back, and this is one of my favorite parts about the movies, genuinely. I love that the movie uses the stage play to broaden the Christmas Carol movie. So he comes back in a pivotal scene of the Christmas Carol that they're doing on rehearsals, and that is all to let the audience know this is a part of the Christmas Carol that we're at. I love that. I love that they're doing those parallels. And then Frank, being confused, says...
No. This is in the scene. Is it the woman that says that? She's like... Or someone says, may you be happy with the path you have chosen.
I was just going to say that.
Frank didn't say that. And then Frank says...
No, I was just going to say this.
Well, I am happy with the path I've chosen, you little bitch.
Yeah, I'm happy with my path that I've chosen, you little bitch.
It's crazy. And then they were like, "Are you okay?" Blah blah blah. What the heck? And he's like, "Baby, my head's just fine. Check it out. It's right here."
Is that what he really says? Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing.
I know. I was like, "Oh, I need to remember that later."
Bill Murray is very funny in this movie. He has a lot of great points, and even though he's going like certifiably like insane, he is still making some great zingers. And then at this point, Elliot, we get to see what Elliot's up to, the guy who got fired at the beginning of the movie, and he is falling apart. This is kind of the part of the movie that I don't know the timeline, because like Elliot went from...
He went down fast.
Yeah,
He's like me when I spiral. Like, he went down bad.
He went from sitting on the steps outside his business saying, "Hey, honey, we might have to move into a studio apartment," to a drunk homeless man. And I'm like, Elliot, what happened?
My man.
Yeah, no, I hate to see my guy down. But we'll come back to him.
Yes, I thought it was, yeah, you're right. I was just like, whoa, that escalated.
He went far fast.
Yeah.
Fuck Frank in this moment. But we'll come back to him.
Yeah, but so Frank, he was like yelling or whatever, and then we see homeless Elliot.
Yep.
And then it's showing Frank is kind of going mad in a sense, but he's looking for Claire, because after the reminiscing, he's like,
right, he wanted to prove Claire that he didn't regret the path that he had chosen. He wanted to prove that she was wrong.
Yeah. And
they thought he was because she works at a homeless shelter, so that's where he went.
And he was talking to himself, so they were like, "Oh God, we got a crazy one."
We got a crazy one.
Yeah.
And then he did a cool impression because it's like,
LOL,
remember when Bill Murray was on SNL? That's essentially what he did an impression. I'm like, is it because he was on SNL at one point in his life?
Possibly.
I didn't really write most of the homeless dude. He's just continuously a dick to Claire, and Claire just like batty eyes him. Oh, also, Lumpy, you'll change. 15 years.
Yeah. Also, after 15 years, when they see each other, they kiss. I was like, you ain't kissing me after 15 years. Who knows what you've been doing for 15 years?
Who knows where those lips have been?
Yeah, crusty. But it's just like, I was like, okay. And then she still calls him Lumpy. Like, I wouldn't be calling my ex like cute names.
Well, it just shows that she still loves him.
What a
you
beast.
heartless bitch.
What a bitch. Also, he's like yelling at the workers.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he's like, scrape them off.
Yeah, no, because she's like, it's Christmas Eve, and he's like, I bet they're like this every day of the year. I thought that was so funny. I'm like, true.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, and then the next thing that I write is Bryce is a dick. So like, where did I go?
Bryce was not a dick in that scene.
Bryce comes afterward because he goes back to the studio, right? And it's the live action, and Bryce is like directing everything. And he's like, oh, don't worry, just sit down.
That's literally his fucking job.
Yeah, but he's like he's talking
being
down.
A better boss?
He's talking down to Frank, okay? He's talking down to him.
I mean, I saw in that moment, wow, it must be really nice to those people to have a good boss for 2 seconds. Apparently, Katie doesn't like good leadership.
You're the one that doesn't like being told what to do.
That's why I'm doing this podcast.
So he tells me what to do.
It is actually kind of fascinating that he thought he was being a dick. I literally thought that scene, I was like, wow, Frank definitely deserves to be the president. But I did also think he was being like that so he could prove that he could be the president to trick him. I did also get that vibe. Yeah,
and I think it was just the way he was talking to Frank. That's why I thought it. But then now we meet the ghost of Christmas Present.
Love her. It is the woman from Kimmy Schmidt who plays the landlord of Kimmy Schmidt.
That's what you know her from?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen her in my life.
Yeah. She is so abusive. She just beats the shit out of him, and I love it. It's so funny.
I wrote, she is sweet but hurts him. Funny to me.
I wrote the line where Bill Murray was like, if you keep hitting me with your wings, I'm going to rip your wings off. And she's like, I like rough stuff.
I didn't even remember that.
Oh, God, what a line. I was like, oh, my God, yes. 2 ghosts back to back, bangers after bangers.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Basically, Christmas Carol shit happens. He sees that, oh, my God, Gracie's poor.
The first stop, he sees Grace, and it's just like, oh, her kid doesn't talk. He's smart. What's happening? Oh, he watched his dad be murdered.
Yeah, I put that in all caps. Yeah.
And he didn't know. Oh, Grace wore black for a whole year. I thought it was just a fashion statement. It's just like, oh my God, you really know nothing.
Yeah,
but.
no. Once again, amazing writing to really make you realize, this guy is a dick and does need to be changed.
So that was the first stop.
Love that the little kid brought the puzzle right to the window so they could see what he was doing. And then they came into the window while Gracie was play wrestling with their kids, which is really cute. And they're like, they're so happy, but they're so poor. That's what the fairy says. Yeah.
Priorities.
Fairy slapstick. I write that down once again. Randomly a slapstick comedy for a few seconds. Love it though. I can stand a good slapstick every so often.
And we know.
Then we get to see his brother. We get to see the brother scene. They're playing trivia, and I wrote. Then they were doing trivia. Frank was like, everyone knows that. And the fairy was like, oh, because she didn't know the answer.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'd never know. I'm terrible at trivia.
Yeah.
But that scene was just like, whatever. They're just hanging out without him. He's just saying that. So
just a typical scene to show that even though he's a dick to his brother, the brother still genuinely cares. And then the brother opens his gift from Frank, and Frank's like, that's not a towel. You didn't get a VCR.
Yeah, so he's just mad about that.
Yeah.
And then the scene changes to a homeless man that I met earlier.
And the guy, so when he walked into the homeless shelter, 3 people came and tried to get him an impression. The 3rd dude was in the sewer, frozen to death, and he does a zinger. And I told you the zinger. What are we in, Trump Towers?
Oh, that's what
Frank says when he sees the sewer. He's like, what are we in, Trump Towers?
And then he turns around and then he sees, oh, see it.
Yeah, he sees Herman, the homeless dude, is fucking dead in all caps.
Fucking God. Yeah. He's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead. This movie is PG-13, and it is a hard PG-13. Katie got really hyped near the beginning of the movie. You see half a nipple.
No, I told DJ, I was like, you see half a nipple in
with
this
a lot
movie,
of eye
you'll
emojis
be
and
excited. I've never used that eye emoji in my life. maybe once, but not then.
Did you see the nipple? And I almost missed it because it's such a not important part of the movie.
Yeah. But
Katie remembered it.
I only noticed the nipple like a year ago, and I've been watching this since I was a kid. And I thought it was funny also, the nipple part, going back to that part. It was like a dancer. He was trying to get the dancers to show a little nipple, and the guys were like, "Oh, you could barely see." And he's like, "See?" And they're really looking. Like, I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so now it's a homeless guy. He's
guy's
dead, and it's sad, and he's like, "You could have lived if you just blah, blah, blah." And it's just like, but he was a homeless guy that he chose not to help.
Yeah, like the dude asked him for $2, and he's like, "Man, I'm out of cash."
Was he the one? He gave him the watch? Was that the watch that he had?
No. He just had a watch on him.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't give him anything. He was like, "Hey, man, I need $2 to pay for my heater." And he's like, "Oh, man, I'm out."
You're like, that sucks.
Yeah. And then he escapes the sewer, is a madman on the set. And he's like, "Oh, fuck." And then they're like, "Frank, we're about to go live in 5 minutes." He's like, "All right, guys, everybody, good luck. I feel real weird about tonight." And then he runs off.
Yeah.
Which, mood.
Yeah, so he's like, transported back to set. He's acting weird. They escort him. He sees a man dressed up as the ghosts of Christmas future, and he freaks out.
Yep.
But it's literally just for the play.
Yeah,
it's
just for the play.
Blah, blah.
Big old equipment montage. I'm a slut for an equipment montage. Love to see my people in action.
Watch my people go. So, yeah.
Once again, loving the parallels between the Christmas Carol traditional and then the modern retwist. Big fan of the parallels. Did you notice them a lot?
No. I told you I've only ever watched this. Wasn't there like an animated Christmas Carol?
There's one with Jim Carrey, yeah.
Jim Carrey, yeah. I think I watched that, but I don't remember.
It's all right.
We love Jim Carrey, though. Wait, do we?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, cool.
Kind of. I don't think he's like he's done weird shit, but like.
But he's a weird person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We will talk about at the end of this review. I'm gonna give my piece about all the Christmas carols I've seen.
Okay, yeah.
It won't be very long, but
and we will all sit and listen, including me. I don't know, but anyways, yeah. So they escort him, and this is like when they're doing the show live now. Like everything's live.
Everything's happening. It's Christmas Eve, 9 p.m. prime time boob time. Boob tube time. Sorry.
Prime boob time.
Did you see that nipple?
Prime boob time. You gotta write that down. 9 p.m.
It's 9 p.m. It's prime boob tube time.
I like that commercial. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? It's 9 p.m. Do you know where your boobs are? No. But okay. but yeah, so it's
for
live.
The audience, she grabbed her test.
My boobulars. I've never said that word in my life, but I kind of like it. Anyway, so it's going live, and he's in his office because they kind of kicked him out.
Yeah, they were like, "Frank, you cannot be out here.
Because he's crazy.
You're really manic right now."
Yeah.
And guess who comes back? My motherfucking guy, Elliot, with the 2-gauge shotgun. He's like, "Bitch, you're gonna learn today." I lost my job. I lost my wife. I lost my kid. You're going to learn. And I'm like, oh my God, Elliot, what a fucking dog.
Oh my God. We don't promote violence on this podcast.
I mean, but that's very warranted. And you know what? We support.
Warranted? We are not advocating for anyone to do this.
Fuck Frank. Long live Elliot.
If you were living in 1988 when this movie was made, go ahead. But as of now, no. But no, it's
illegal
just
disclaimer,
funny.
in 2022, we do not condone the violence. But in 1989, when this movie came out, we're all in, baby.
It's just funny. With a shotgun. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so he does, and he's like he's pointing it at Frank. I liked the part where he's like, "Can I get a running start?" And he's like, "Sure." Like, yeah, solid. My boy Elliot, just such a kind, considerate man.
It was just great. It was very funny. It was a little bit of slapstick. They really bounced off. Elliot was really great. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what a payoff to show his downfall, and then you do get the redemption. You're just like, fuck yes, Elliot. Own that. Maybe not with the gun. Maybe you need to talk to your higher ups and see if you can get Frank fired. But hey, you do you, boo. We ain't gonna judge, right?
Violence is not always the answer.
All right, I'll take that as a yes. She's shaking her head vigorously to the camera, everyone.
No, I did not. Finger shake. As my grandpa would Do?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
And then I don't know how we get introduced to the final ghost. I think
wait, I do.
Okay.
Listen. This is what happened.
Listen.
So we're going to listen here real good now, okay?
All right.
Okay, so he's following him through the office and like shooting.
Yep.
So, and then he's trying to run away. He's like, I'm sorry, who are you? I don't remember. Oh, you fired me. Oh my God. And then he's trying to go into the elevator to escape, and then it opens and he falls in. And then it shuts. Also, that is the fastest I've seen an elevator shut in my life. I was like, what? And it shuts, and then he's in there, and he thinks he's in there with the ghost of Christmas Future. That was, the actor that was on set. And my favorite, this is like one of my favorite scenes. He's like, may I? And he opens.
Hold on. Explain it a little bit better than just that.
What? What's wrong with that?
So Frank stands up.
Frank is standing up in the elevator, and he sees the guy,
the ghost of Christmas Future,
and he's like, at first he's like, oh, whatever, aren't you supposed to be on set? Blah blah blah. And then he's like, may I? And then he What am I missing?
What is he like? He looks at his chest where the costume can open, and then says.
He's not opening up his pants.
We don't know that.
Oh my God, okay.
It's PG-13.
Okay,
we saw half a nipple.
Okay, calm down. He sees half a nipple. He thinks he owns the world.
Isn't that every guy?
Oh my God. True. Anyway, so yes, he looks at his chest and he's like, may I? And then the robe, I guess you could say, he pulls it open and it's like death.
Yeah, it's like a rib cage and a bunch of little shrieky heads like, where'd it go?
Yeah, and his rock and roll playing too. And then he closes, he's like, oh. But that was may I? Like, I would never, like, may I DJ? And like, that's so weird.
Yeah. I hope that was improv.
Yeah, I know that.
They're like, how do we get your character built to open that? And he's like,
May I?
And they're like, fucking book it. We're done.
Yeah.
I wrote, what a set, because the future set's really cool. We see Frank is dead.
No.
Who's dead?
No, you're missing it.
Go on.
Grace's son is in a psych ward first. That's the first thing that he sees, because he doesn't talk. And I was like, that escalated quickly. Like, couldn't we just get him some therapy? Like, why is he in a padded room?
Well, she tried therapy, and the doctor just said it's up to him.
That doctor's a...
Yeah, and that's what she said. She was like, she flicked off the mic. That's what they said at the beginning. They come back from the doctor's appointment, and she was like, fucking $200 for the doctor to just tell me that you don't talk. I know you don't talk.
Yeah, they said doctor, but they didn't say therapist. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, get him some therapy before you throw him into the big house. And then, so it's that first, and he's like, oh no, like, he was so smart or whatever. And then we see Claire, and she's being mean to a little kid, I think. A little kid, maybe. But she's being mean, and she's like, a good friend of mine told me a long time ago that you have to...
Scrape them.
Scrape it, or step on people to get to... Or something.
Scrape it. It's scrape them off.
Yeah.
They're leeches. I think that's the logic. They're leeching off of you.
Oh, yeah. So she's just like... yeah, and then she's like, oh, lumpy or something. And then it goes to someone's dead in a casket.
And surprise, surprise.
He thought it was his brother at first.
He did.
Because he's like, it couldn't be me.
Yeah, I can't die. I'm immortal.
Yeah, I'm Frank.
I couldn't fathom me dying even though I'm 80 and only do cocaine for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I love the first few ghosts. I like their actors and they play them really well. But whoever designed the final ghost, he has like a TV for a face, and I thought that was really cool. You got to see a lot of that. That was really good. And then we see Bill Murray in the casket, and he gets cremated alive in the casket because, my God, this is a hard PG-13, fellas.
Also, I was wondering, is that like kind of like Back to the Future, where it's like they thought that's how funerals were gonna look in the future? Because it's like the future. I'm like, who? Okay.
Well, like the original Christmas Carol, how they show Scrooge dead is that they have a bunch of like vagrants like stealing around his dead body and stealing stuff from him, and that's how he knew nobody gave a shit, because they were just talking about all the valuables. So I think they had to try to match a scene in what way to be like more, which I don't agree that cremation is like less humane than like burying, but I wonder if they were like, oh, we cremate him because nobody actually gives a shit to like visit his like tomb or whatever.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So I was like, what? But yeah, they're cremating, or he's being cremated. I don't know how you word that, but anyways, and then he's banging on the inside.
Sorry, I was gonna be like, he creamed.
And then he got creamed, and then that's so bad. Mom, I want to be creamed when I died. Like, okay.
Tommy, no. Timmy, excuse me. Tiny Tim. Excuse me.
Timmy Tom. Anyways, and so he's banging on the inside like, I want to live. I want to live. I don't want to die. And then he's banging and banging, and then all of a sudden he's like, it's like him in the elevator, and it opens. And he's like, glory to God, I'm alive. And he hugs Elliot, who is still holding a shotgun.
Yep.
And he kisses him twice. No consent. But this is the 80s, right?
Yep.
I wonder what they would do in Tao.
That got cut for a reason.
Okay.
And then we see the stage play where you see Scrooge saying, what day is it? What day is it, sir? And I'll buy the biggest duck you can. And they're like, okay, mister. And then he throws them a gold coin because currency is fake.
Wait, you missed this, though.
What did I miss?
Before they get back to the stage and stuff, Frank gives Elliot his job back.
Yes.
And they become friends. And he's like, here, let's go down there.
Yeah. He was like, Elliot, you're totally right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. You should. I think he like gives them a great promotion.
Yeah. He's like, you want my office? He's like, no, sir.
Yeah. Which fucking goddamn that's why I like Elliot so much. He knows what he wants and is not afraid to like look someone in the eyes and say.
Also, say what?
No, I don't want your shitty ass office. I want your fucking telescope.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay, also, when he gets the job, are we taking the wife back? Because, what a bitch.
Yeah, fuck that lady.
Fuck that lady. Thick and thin.
Like, just to, like, give a basis, it's, like, been 24 hours.
I know.
Like, he walked in and said, I got fired. And she's like, I'm divorcing your ass.
She's
You're
like adios.
And then,
he grabs the coin.
Oh, yeah. So Scrooge tosses a coin in the air for the little kid to go grab that big old duck. And then Frank grabs it and goes on this beautiful monologue of, like, just, like, amazing monologue, just talking about how important it is to not, like, care about your career and, like, love one another and everything.
And as he's doing this, Elliot, our guy, is holding everyone up in the production room.
Oh, yeah. Because they were refusing to cut away from Frank.
Yeah.
So Elliot holds everyone hostage.
He tied up Bryce.
Yep.
And everyone's hostage and stuff.
Yep.
And as he's making this speech, Preston, the boss, he calls and he's like, why is Frank doing this, blah, blah, blah. And Elliot gets the phone and he's like, Bryce put him there, blah, blah, blah. And he's like blaming it on Bryce. And I wrote this line. I thought it was so funny. I don't know why. He's like, Bryce put Frank there, and he said, you're a flatulating butthead. He said he never felt that way about a man before. Also, we didn't even say this, but Elliot's voice, I don't know why. I just love it. It's just like kind of squeaky.
Yeah,
and, like,
I don't know the actor, but like it's an actor that you've seen a cartoon as a kid with his voice.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, he's never felt that about a man before.
Yeah, he has an amazing voice. I love Elliot is to me the real star of Scrooge.
So he's doing the speech, whatever. I thought it was funny when there's mistletoe and he kisses one of the dancers.
Yes, he kisses one of the dancers. He's like, oh, man, that was good.
He's like, mistletoe is a federal law.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that was good, but not as good as... I was like, then why'd you fucking kiss her in front of your 15-year-old ex? Oh, wait. She's not 15.
Why did you make out with this woman and then be like, but it wasn't as good? He's like, well, I ain't married yet, lady.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, a woman that has been abused the entire movie, sees her opportunity.
The one that's been like the butt of every like gets hits
and then she sees this as an opportunity, which it isn't. Mistletoe is not a federal law. She slaps mistletoe over Bryce's head and tongues down his throat.
And may we know, he's still tied down.
He is. And
get it, girl.
Katie was like, "Mama, like."
No, I'm like, Mama. Pay back.
He's not a dick though.
But he kind of is.
You just don't.
No. Because when Frank was the one that was like going crazy, and they're like, "Here, go, we'll take care of it." He's like, he kind of said like, "Oh," like he was happy because then now he was in charge and he was going to get his job.
But,
so
Frank isn't good at his job. He's mean to everyone. And
but
Bryce,
it's Frank.
Katie,
really
want better for yourself.
We already established I don't.
and then that's the movie. You know, he's all happy. You just assume that everyone's gonna get paid well. Probably, maybe. I mean, capitalism is awful, and everyone probably died shortly afterwards because of the asbestos.
Yes, and I guess the biggest part of the movie happens now.
What's the biggest part of the movie?
Grace's son speaks.
Oh yeah, he says, "God bless us, God bless everyone." Which, since you haven't seen Christmas Carol, is what Tiny Tim says at the end of the movie, and that's how Christmas Carol wraps up.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he says what you had said.
God bless everyone.
I hate that so much. So he says, and then everyone's like, "Woo!" And then him and Claire are back together.
And you just assume that's the wrap up. It's Christmas Carol. Everyone's happy.
Everyone except for Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce. But he's from LA, and that apparently makes him a sleazeball. As a Californian, how does that make you feel?
That's about right.
Okay. As tradition, Christmas tradition, is this a frick no or a frick yes?
This is a frick yes, baby.
This is a frick yes from the fucking rooftops.
They got me with the nipple, you know? And then they kept me in with the mistletoe, you know?
Yeah, Katie was on her phone, and then she promptly placed it down.
I was like...
Yeah. Is that a half nipple? Maybe we'll get a full one later.
Hey, it was
and then you see Claire in a bathtub.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of weird.
But yeah, no, my thing about Christmas Carol, I've seen a few. I've seen the Jim Carrey adaptation. And I've seen the Muppets Christmas Carol adaptation.
He won't
and I've
shut up about
Scrooged, it. Because the Muppets Christmas Carol is the definitive edition of Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
You have amazing performance by Michael Caine. And then you have like the Muppets fucking around while it's happening. What is better than that? But... So when I came into Scrooge, I was like, there's no way this fucking movie can top the movie of Christmas Carol. But I've changed my mind. It's the best modern retelling of the Christmas Carol.
There's too many caveats. Too many.
It's a frick yes, and I agree that you should do a double feature. You should watch Scrooged, and then once you've scarred your family for showing a half nipple in front of Tommy, then you show them Muppets Christmas Carol, and you're like, all right.
But... yeah, no, I mean, I watched this movie growing up. I love it. Bill Murray's my guy.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Bill Murray's really funny. He is a little bit problematic, especially in 2022. Spoiler alert, he was problematic in 1988 too. Sorry, but he was. I mean, Chevy Chase was a dick back then. He's a massive dick now. It's just like Katie said, something you gotta just separate the art from the artist.
I guess. I know that some people say, no, don't support him, blah, blah, blah. He's about to die soon. I mean, he's getting old, you know.
This will definitely not be the only Bill Murray movie that we're going to watch. But we're going to take a break from him and start the new year off with Son of the Mask?
No, bitch. We're starting off with Dougal.
Oh, yeah, Dougal. Our first of probably many animated movies that we'll review on this podcast.
But
if you don't know what Dougal is, don't worry. Neither do I.
Yeah, but guess what? His wife does.
Yeah, my wife.
I brought it up, and she's like, "This is amazing! I love that movie." And then that's what sealed the deal, though. That's the next movie we're doing.
The next movie is that we're gonna do Dougal. And before we wrap this up, I feel like we should introduce ourselves since we didn't. Katie and I met because we're coworkers. So that pot pie story from last year, I wasn't just in a park and she saw me eating a pot pie.
Which That would have been pretty baller of me. Is that a pot pie?
If it smells like a pot pie and looks like a pot pie, it's a shepherd's pie. But
no.
Yeah. So she's the accountant at the job, and I am the corporate filmmaker at the job. I said I was a film student, and I realized I really downplayed myself.
Okay, we're gonna leave because we have Chinese food waiting for us. But thanks. The movies
are gonna get worse, but
we're gonna get better. Hopefully. We'll see. It's a work in progress. Just stick with it.
And stay virtuous, my dudes.
Stay virtuous, my dude.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.